I can tell you from the police department, when I first got on in 2002, being a woman, being a minority woman, it was generally white males. And no offense, that's what the department wanted to hire back then. And that in itself, being a woman in an all male field was a little difficult, but I had two older brothers, so that segue was kind of easy for me. But I do know that there was a lot of women on the department that had some issues with that. And then when we go into District 3 is my area where I pretty much spent my whole police officer career. And it's still to this day, Milwaukee is very segregated. It's getting better, especially like where I live, and the little pockets generally are, your police officers and your firefighters and FBI and teachers. And so those little pockets are getting better, but you still have to go through some of the little Franklin, Wisconsin, some of those other areas where it's still not too diverse. So dealing with people of color they only saw me as white. So I would go to these calls and they didn't really think I could relate to them. But because I was raised pretty much Mexican American and my mom was pretty diverse. And then I had two older brothers and lived in the city of Milwaukee. So I knew, and I never would get, offended that they would call me white. I would just explain to them that I'm there to help them. So that in itself was a little bit difficult. And then the human trafficking, and just in general, having to have, I don't like to call them victims, but essentially they're victims and suspects. Most of our victims, and now, so I'm in a sensitive crimes division now, day shift, which that's a whole nother animal. But so I had my homicide victims that couldn't talk and I was their voice. And now I have to try to convince these women that have gone through a horrible thing, or these little young girls that think that, the pimp is the right answer. And he's going to buy them all this stuff, but he's also going to take it away from you. So you got to try to try to get them to understand, like, that is not love. And then you get them to the point where they're cooperative, and then they're always gone. So you always have to have someone. We have a wonderful, wonderful advocate that works with us named Maria. And she's not a police officer. She's not a detective. She's not one of us. And we have a tendency to have better rapport with our young girls and our rape victims because they don't see her as us. We have that shield up. But once you can try to get them to understand that you are actually on their side, and you are going to help them, it's just getting to that point. And I think I have a pretty good relationship with people that I can get them to trust me, and I'm not going to, I have no reason for them to do anything to them to not trust me.